Yes. Hooray for Hollywood. Hooray for Dawn Meadows Dixon. She's here. We're on a short leash today, but we'll get it in. We'll get a movie. We'll tell you if it's any good or not. And it's all made possible by Westport Car Wash. 3 locations on Page, just east of Lindbergh. On Lee May Ferry Road, just north of Lindbergh. And on Brentwood, just south of Manchester. Westport Car Wash presents Dawn Meadows Dixon.
Yeah. Dawn. I know we don't have a lot of time, but you had mentioned last week that one of your listeners said they were interested in West of Memphis, the documentary, which opens this Friday in St. Louis. So
there's her answer. There's the answer she was looking for this Friday.
So I had a chance to watch it and going to talk about that today. Really very difficult film to watch. I know you started to tell the story of what this film is about, and it's the examination of the failure of justice in the case against the West Memphis Three. West Memphis is actually in Arkansas, and it's a story that starts back in 1993. These 3 young boys, teenagers, were charged with murdering 8-year-old boys, 3 of them, and sexually molesting them. And they were found guilty, and it's the story about how a town became hysterical, believed it was a cult killing, that these kids were satanic, these young teenagers, and it just fed on itself. And there were some people who felt that maybe justice wasn't served, that maybe they were found guilty, and they shouldn't have been. And so they started to look into this, and it was a reporter, another woman who wrote to one of the 3 boys who was sentenced to death, actually. The other 2 were sentenced to life. And just recently, they were released after 18 years with 2 of them with 10 years to serve and 1 who was on death row.
And didn't some celebrities get involved in this too? Yes,
Johnny Depp got involved. Peter Jackson from the Hobbit movie, he heard about this, and his comment in the film, and I don't think this gives it away, he's one of the producers of the film, he said, "I don't like bullies." And I saw, after looking at the evidence and having it brought to me by some very important people, it seemed to me that an entire town decided these 3 young boys, because they were different, because they wore black, because they were lost, and they will admit to being very confused, were talked into and forced into admitting guilt in this case. And it is amazing the way the director tells the story. They allow the people to tell the story, and they start in the very beginning and how they were found guilty. And then, and I don't want to give away too much, because if you watch it, they do it with a timeline, and it's almost like a great mystery. It unfolds slowly, but there were people who went on the stand and lied, who basically got caught into this hysteria and lied. And now, of course, with DNA, we can go back, and they found hair samples, and they started looking at someone else a little closer to the case. And so these 3 young men now, after 18 years, were released. It's an amazing story. It's very well told. It's not told by a narrator like a Dateline. You were imitating that reporter.
Keith Morrison.
Can't. Yeah,
Keith Moore. Now let me ask you this: when you real quickly, when you finished watching it, obviously, is the point of the movie to make you, when it's all over, wonder, well, do they deserve to be out, or is it pretty conclusive they deserve to be out?
To me, it seems conclusive. But my husband actually spent 16 years in West Memphis. He lived there, and he said he still has friends there that talk about this, and they swear that these people have been released and they shouldn't have been. But they have found, I mean, I believe in watching the movie, and there have been other movies done. There was an HBO movie done, and they started looking at one of the other guys, basically looking at the stepfathers of the 3 8-year-olds. They were looking at these men because often in these cases, it's somebody close to them. It's not just somebody random killing. There's usually an emotional attachment. So they started looking at these other people who in the beginning were not looked at. There are still people, I believe, in that town that believe the boys that were arrested were the ones that did it. But I think if you see the film and you look at the evidence and you hear DNA, we have come so far in the way police work. The DNA is so obvious as they reveal it in the film, and it's very well told. It's well worth your time to go see this movie. And, it's not one of the 5 that are nominated for a Best Oscar this year, but there were so many good ones out there. And the Academy actually had to pick 10 out of 72 that were entered, and then from that 10 they picked 5. And this isn't one of them, but I'll tell you, it's well worth your time. It's very, very good.
All right, ARDs.
I'm going to say 3 1/4. It is really, really good. There are some things that, I would actually give it higher, but I feel 3 1/4 is fair, and it could actually be even higher than that. I was blown away.
Okay.
Very disturbing, though. Be ready to hear about a case that is extremely disturbing.
All right, here, 3 1/4. Here they come.
All right, Dan. All right.
It's called West of Memphis, right?
West of Memphis.
All right, Dan. All right, we'll talk to you later.
Everybody. Bye.
Dawn Meadows-Dixon, everybody. West of Memphis. It's an incredible story. Brought to you, of course, by Westport Car Wash and their 3 locations. All right.